Hello everybody and welcome. My name is David Maddock. I'm a project manager at Mobile Programming LLC and I oversaw the development team who built this application. We wanted to create this short instructional video to showcase the functionality in each section of the app. Without further ado, I will go ahead and get started. Now you won't see it here, but when you arrive on the login screen, you're going to sign in with the same credentials that you use for PCL on the desktop. Also, don't forget to be connected to the VPN, which is indicated by this little icon up here in the top left. As soon as you log in, the first screen that you'll see is this referral history screen. This referral history screen is a list of all of the patients that have been referred from your doctors or facilities in the last 30 days. Now, this list is sortable by first name, last name, referral date, approval date, etc. You simply click on any of the headers at the top and you'll see the information below is sorted by whatever you select. Now, we have this search bar here, which is a filter, so I can start to type in Karen and hit enter, and Karen will be displayed here. To clear the search results, click on this gray X. Now we have this setups tab. Clicking on this will now show a list of all of the patients that have been set up in the last 30 days. Again, you can click on any of the column headers to sort. Finally, you can click on the first or last name of the patient to get to that patient's file. I'm going to come back to this screen when we go over the patients section. So now I'll move to the doctors section. Now this doctors section is a list of all doctors who have referred a patient to Classic Sleep Care in the last 2 years. So this is a scrollable list. You'll see doctors sorted by last name here. Again, we can filter by searching for the first or last names. If I type in Gary, search, you can see is here again. Click on the gray X to clear the search results. Now, when I click on the name of the doctor, you'll see this section slide out here where you will see all of the information: doctor phone, doctor office contact, fax, MPI, etc. This is the information that the intake team has when they are entering doctors, and this is the info that is feeding from PCL. Now you'll notice this directions button here, and clicking on this will prompt you to open Google Maps. I'm going to click on yes, and this might take a second. You'll see that the app will pull directions from your current location to the patient, and you've got to go cross country, it looks like. Clicking on this Return to PCL Rep App will shoot you back over to the application where you were. So again, that was clicking on the directions button. I'm going to click on this X here to close the window, and again I can click on this underlined address here, and I will also be prompted to get directions. Now, another feature of this section is the Add New Referral Source. And so previously, reps used to send in or fax in a paper form when they needed to add a new facility or adding a new doctor, and now we've gone electronic with this form. So you'll see here there's 4 options to select for the 4 different scenarios that could occur when you're entering a doctor or a facility. It could be a new doctor only. You could be adding a new doctor to an existing facility. You could add a new facility that does not have a doctor or is not associated with a doctor. Or you can add a new doctor and a new facility. Now, depending on the options that I select, you'll notice the form will scroll and the fields that are necessary for each scenario will be highlighted. So I'm going to go here and fill out this add new doctor only. So when you're adding a new doctor, you're going to be entering in as much information as you have about the doctor. So MPI, license, and UPIN are the only fields that are not absolutely required. How the process works is once a rep submits a new form, the intake team screens the data to make sure that it's correct, and then they will ultimately add it into PCL. If you don't know the NPI, license, and UPIN numbers, you can leave them blank, but please do your intake team a favor and fill out as much of these as you can. So I'm going to start filling out a dummy account. Doctor contact is the name of the person in the office that usually answers the phone or is the main contact there. This nuance here is any instructions that you want to show up on the PCL nuance. So remember, each patient has a nuance, whether it's special instructions for the doctor or the facility or for the rep. This is where you will add the notes or instructions that you want in the nuance. These additional notes are used for any other instructions that the intake team needs to be aware of, any additional notes you have on the account in general. Just anything you want to say about the account, you can place it in this additional notes section. So now we get to the compliance information, and all of these fields are required. And you'll go through and pick referral type, machine preference. This shouldn't be too new to you guys. We've basically modified the existing form that we had. Do make sure that you select these fields here, whether the doctor wants a modem, yes or no. You'll notice when I select yes, the 30-day and 90-day boxes are automatically checked, as that is the kind of the standard. But you can, of course, edit them if you need to and add to it, etc. This other instructions section is, again, for any additional notes about the account, any notes that the intake team needs to be aware of, or any special instructions the doctor has about his compliance information. Now, once I've filled out all the information, I'm going to click on Submit. You'll get this message, success, and your request is being processed. Now again, this information will be sent to Classic Sleep Care's intake team. The intake team will review the form that was submitted. They will make any edits to it if necessary, and then they will add it into PCL, and now the doctor will be in the system. So you'll follow the same steps for adding a doctor to an existing facility, a new facility, or both a new doctor and a new facility. You'll notice in some cases, for example here, when I'm adding a new doctor to an existing facility, I'll need to click on the facility that the doctor is being added to. So you can also update an account information. So you'll see here there's 3 scenarios. You're either updating doctor's info only, facility information only, or you're updating both doctor and facility info. Depending on the scenario you select, again the form's fields will be highlighted. The first step when you're editing information is to select what you want to edit. So if I'm editing this doctor here, I'm going to select, and you'll notice the information is shown here. If a doctor has maybe changed their phone number, you can find the doctor, change the phone number, and then click on update down here. I'm not going to do this because this is on the live server. So that concludes the doctor section. I'm going to move on to the schedule section. So this schedule section displays a calendar view of your respiratory therapists and their setup schedules for the coming weeks. You can scroll left and right to see past information or future information. If there's no events, you'll get that little message. You scroll up on the screen from here to view the events for the week. Right here. And the user can click on the box here and it will take you to that patient's file. Again, I'm going to come back to the patient file screen next. That's really all for the schedule screen, so I'm going to move on to the patients section next. So this patients section should look familiar. This is basically what you see on the desktop version, just pared down for mobile. So the patient section starts with search. You can search by first name, last name, status, facility, insurance, or doctor. So again, if I wanted to maybe find who's been denied, I can type in denied, select denied, and click on search. I apologize for the little bit of a delay. And here we have the results. When you get to the search results, again, you can click on any of the column headers to sort, or you can select from this drop down here. What's slightly different about these search results as opposed to the history section is that you'll get some additional information in the patient section, and you'll notice I can swipe right or swipe left to get more of this information. You'll notice since these were all denials, there's not any mask or machine data. So if I go back, I'm going to clear this. So there's also these handy date ranges, month to date, year to date, quarter to date, to help you quickly see all your referrals from month to date. Click and search. Again, maybe I want to look at something on the other page, so I want to see sorted by RT. I can use this drop down here. Pretty simple and a nice tool. Now from this screen, you can click on the patient first name or last name to pull up the file. So here is a patient file. Now, this screen is divided into a couple of sections. You have this tab section here at the top for patient info, doctor info, and insurance info. Clicking on these buttons will display the information in the tab. Please excuse the delay. There we go. Insurance info. So on the patient file, we have the date that they were referred, first name, last name, their status, both the status itself and the date that the patient became that status, date of birth, sex, address, city, state, zip, and county. And the doctor information, you get the name, the address, phone number, fax number, MPI, and any facility information. The insurance, you get their HST status, primary insurance, secondary, and tertiary insurance information. Now we have this files section here, and this files section will show all of the files that we have on record for this patient will be displayed here. So any, like I believe this is a setup ticket here, I can click on that, and your setup ticket is right here for your easy reference. So any file that Classic Sleep Care has in PCL on this patient will be displayed here. We have this note section. This note section is what the Classic Sleep Care, what the intake team and what the other patient services, this is their internal notes. So when they're discussing things about the patient, maybe reasons why someone was denied, or you can look here to find out what's been going on with the account through the intake and through the approval and setup process. Finally, you have this nuance button. Clicking on this shows the nuance for that patient. That concludes the patient section. Next, I'll go on to the My Stats section. So the My Stats is a table view of the stats and the numbers of all of the different statuses. We have a monthly and an annual view of this data. It basically shows the same thing, but in either a month view or a year view. So I can select the month and I can select the year. So I'll go June. Let's go last month. Click on Go, and you'll notice the data here will be displayed. The numbers at the top are the totals of the numbers that you see within the table. The one nice feature here is all of these numbers are all clickable. So if I wanted to see the 3 referrals that I had gotten on June 3rd, I would click on the number 3, and here we go. You can see the list of those 3 patients that were referred on the 6th. This also works for any of the numbers here up at the top. If I wanted to see all of my setups for June 2014, I would click on the number 14 here. The app's going to load to a list here. Again, when you're on this list, it is sortable, and it's also you can also filter the data. Oh, excuse me. So you can sort the data by these column headers, just as you did on the previous screen. So again, I'll show you the annual view. It's basically the same data here, but in an annual view. So this will give you the data for the entire month. So if I wanted to see all of my, the 4 denials I got in January, again, I would simply click on the 4, and here is the list of patients. Lastly, we have this CSC website button. Clicking on this will simply take you to Classic Sleep Care's website. Seems to be loading a little slow. And there we go. So in case you need to reference the website while you're inside of the app, you can go ahead and do that, and you can browse. You can browse the website while remaining inside of the application. Simply click on the X to close the window. And lastly, we're interested in how we did with the app, so we added this send feedback option. You're going to click on this. It's going to pull up an email, and you'll choose a subject and tell us any improvements, any feedback that you guys might have, and we will do our best to incorporate it. So that concludes my video. Please reach out if you have any questions. Thanks.